Does it not? Do you
And then
not
after
like
like,
feel
no,
a little bit embarrassed that you're sourcing me a graph and you don't even know what study it comes from, or if it even comes from a study? Because one of the graphs you sourced me didn't come from a study. It was just
Destiny, what's your response to that?
I truly don't even know how to engage. Generally, I didn't know who this person was in advance, but usually when people are arguing with charts, you know that they don't have like the prerequisite knowledge or education to have an understanding of the topic they're arguing about. So I usually just avoid those conversations completely. I know that sounds dismissive, but like when he's showing me a chart of like these are the bad programs that screw over people, and he doesn't even know what like half the programs on the chart that he's showing me is, he doesn't know the study they're coming from, and he thinks that like two variables in a graph prove a causal relationship. Like the engagement with all these topics, it just sounds like you watched a YouTuber or read a thing, and then like that's like your entire opinion. I don't know how you could come to a debate like this, like eager to throw out a whole bunch of like information, and you don't have a single study. That's astounding to me. I would be embarrassed and mortified if I went into a data-driven argument and all I had were like Discord charts. But you don't even realize why that's embarrassing. So like I don't even know how I would try to talk like macro econ with somebody citing me things that people said in the 1700s. It sounds really mean. I'm sorry. I'm kind of intentionally being mean, but like, yeah, almost nothing you're saying is true. Like I've already like addressed some of it, but like like you don't even realize why what you're saying isn't true. So I don't know how to say it. Like I'll ask the one fundamental question I asked earlier. Can you show me any evidence whatsoever that people are min-maxing welfare? But then you're pointing to a chart. I don't know what to say to that. That's not how that works. That's not how any of that
right.
works,
So
right? So like
right.
here's an
So this
example.
is
Like
like,
I might have like
all right.
I might have I might do a study where I say what is the normal attainment of an employee in their work life, and I might be able to show that an employee will work and they earn this much money, but I might have the control might be a normal employee that makes no welfare, and then I show that against like 5 or 6 other types of workers on different types of welfare, and I might show you can look at the employee behavior. Once they approach these cliffs, they tend to either reduce the amount of hours they work, or they tend to make choices that are adverse to future earning potentials. And I might be able to explain that by the fact that they're on a certain type of welfare. That type of research would go, oh, holy shit, people are actually min-maxing welfare. But instead, you just show me a chart and you go, well, look at this welfare cliff. Everybody knows those exist. Nobody makes the claim that it's influencing workers' choices. And then you say, well, I think moms are kicking dads out of the household so that they can min-max their welfare, but you have no data or evidence for that whatsoever. I could present to you 15 other hypotheses for why that happens. I could say that one, the chart you're showing me is just going by single mothers. It's not, or by married mothers or unmarried mothers. It might be the fact that more people are living together, but they're just unmarried because shotgun weddings are a lot less popular than they were in the 60s and 70s. It might be that there are other things causing single motherhood, which would cause them to get welfare, not the other way around, that they're choosing welfare so they become single mothers. But again, this would take like research. You have the positive argument here. I guess like, if you wanted me to, like, we can spend, if you want, we can spend 10 or 15 minutes like researching right now if you want to. I could show you like some good things to type into Google, but one chart showing the relationship between two variables is not going to give you a causal relationship between something as complicated as why do people choose the types of employment they choose or choose the types of family structures they do. If you want to do that research right now, I would be happy to do it with you. Like, it might be a fun experiment, but I don't know how you can
Well,
expect to show a chart and then say that, well, in the 1700s this happened, and like that's an argument. Like,
right. So this is why I don't like debates, and nothing personal against you. Like I used to, if when I used to make videos back in like 2015, 2016, I used to do extensive research, and I used to cite my sources, and I aired on the caution of a peer review. And what happens is I run into a tactic which I dub do my homework, where people they just reject my evidence and they find flaws with all my sources. This source is from the 90s. This source, the group size is too small, and they just find me more evidence. Find me more evidence. And there was a time, I don't remember what year this was. I bit. I'm like, okay, I will keep finding evidence. Every time I found evidence, the guy found a reason to dismiss it. And I think after several hours, he just stopped replying. And I just thought this is a giant waste of my time.
wait, so
So,
because you've
you
debated
know,
some people that are bad faith in the past, you've decided to become bad faith? That's what I'm hearing.
no, it's not. It's not about bad faith. It's like the charts are visual representation. I could in the future. I can try. I'll dig up the sources and I will have the sources available in the future. But this isn't that hard. Like you can be like, well, there's plenty of reasons why the single motherhood rate skyrocketed after the welfare state. It couldn't possibly be that paying people to be single mothers incentivized the creation of single mothers. That's a myth. Where's your sources? That's fine. I don't even like, I'll just concede the entire argument. Welfare it just happens. Who knows why it happens. It just
I don't
happens.
understand why I'm not asking for 50 million. I'm just asking for a single one. A graph is
Well, I don't
never
have.
yeah, okay.
I don't, well,
But you
okay,
brought
so
graphs, so why
this,
not like
this is
why not like just get one abstract of one study? Like just a single
right.
abstract.
Well, if I had, so if I had the sources of the graph, which I could dig them up, and there's old videos where I used to cite my sources, but it's just I don't have it on me, and frankly, if I had it and I gave them to you, maybe you'd read it like, oh, okay, I can see this is valid, and the data
Okay,
checks out.
just
Or
what
you
you
might say,
said.
well, I don't like this study. I don't like this study. Find a better one.
Does it not? Do you
And then
not
I'd be
like
like, no.
feel a little bit embarrassed that you're sourcing me a graph and you don't even know what study it comes from, or if it even comes from a study? Because one of the graphs you sourced me didn't come from a study. It was just like a web page talking about welfare cliffs. That's not a study, and it had nothing to do with your assertion that welfare cliffs are causing people to choose to be single moms. Right? Like if I'm going to source a graph, like maybe I want to talk about like I think black people get pulled over more than white people. I might source a graph from the nature study showing that at nighttime the rates of people getting pulled over are similar. I might show that graph, but if somebody says, well, tell me about that graph, well, I'd be able to tell you, well, this is how they did the study. They used a very clever trick with daylight savings time in order to control for like work environments and to make sure that, right, I would be able to talk about it. I wouldn't just say like, here's a graph, and then that's it, right? Like you don't even know the studies that these are coming from. So that tells me you haven't done any research. You're just going on a website that's saying that like here, like www.singlemomsarehomeless.com, and then you're just copy pasting graphs. Otherwise, you would be able to tell me, oh, I took this graph from this study, or at least like have an idea of where it came from. I'm not saying like it's the NBR paper published by blah blah blah, but just like at least an idea. But you have no idea whatsoever where any of your sources come from.
No, I've been. These are old charts I've had for years, and I just haven't updated them, and I don't have the sources on hand. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay, we can search for something right now if you want. We can do research right now. I'm curious. So like I could Google why are single motherhood rates so high, and we could see the types of answers that come up. We could do that if you want, and then we could go through and look. We can go on Google Scholar and look if you want, or because that would actually like get us. I could be wrong, by the way. You might be 100% correct. Like maybe I'll Google that and it says that welfare has incentivized single motherhood rates, and that's why. But I'm just saying you haven't even shown you're not even wrong. You haven't even given me enough information to say you're wrong. You haven't even put forth an argument.
Well, okay. So, I put forth the argument. I have the charts as a visual representation. I don't have the sources. I didn't prepare a list of studies. I didn't have all the citations. I made the case. You can be like that. You haven't proved anything. You haven't. Okay. All right.
Okay, well, then I Googled some stuff, so here's my counter, I guess. Okay. I just did this in 2 seconds. So, statistics about children in single-parent families. In the United States today, nearly 24 million children live in a single-parent family. This total, which has been rising for half a century, covers about 1 in every 3 kids across
Can you share your screen so the audience can see?
Oh no, I'm posting it in a private chat there. I can't really share my screen. It's kind of complicated, but this total, which has been rising for half a century, covers about 1 in 3 kids across America. A number of long-term demographic trends have fueled this increase, including marrying later, which would, I guess, make sense, declining marriage rates, which also makes sense, and increasing divorce rates, and an uptick in babies born to single mothers. I don't see anything about welfare here. Maybe I can go to the next one. The unbelievable rise in single motherhood in America. This is a Washington Post article. This was published 8 years ago, but let's see. Control F, welfare. I don't see that.
Wow.
Let's see. More women are having their children later in life, or they're doing so in less traditional ways, before marriage, without marriage, or with unmarried partners. Single motherhood has grown so common. Half of all children.
If women are just for some unrelated reason choosing to be single mothers just because it's a new hip thing, then why are there so many welfare programs for single mothers? Why do we have all these institutions to make sure single mothers have all this money given to them from, like, in the form of the family court, all these welfare programs? It's not just one or two. It's like the vast majority of all welfare programs go to women. Why do you think that is?
My guess is going to be, when you're asking that now, I don't have data. We could look this up if you want, but my guess is going to be the vast majority of welfare dollars go to women, because my guess is going to be the vast majority of welfare dollars are spent on childcare, and the vast majority of single parents are mothers. That's going to be my guess. Do you think I'm wrong on that? Yeah. We could look that up.
I think you're right.
Okay.
Yeah. So why are single motherhood rates? Why are women choosing to be single mothers after the welfare state when they were getting married before the welfare state. Like, marriage rates were much higher prior to the welfare state. In fact, again, I don't have the source, but from memory, the young black marriage rate was higher in the 50s than the white young marriage rate.
I mean, again, I'm just Googling. I don't know the answers to this, but so here's the thing. Until the 1970s, shotgun marriage was the norm in premarital sexual relations. The custom was succinctly stated by one San Francisco resident in the late 1960s. If a girl gets pregnant, you married her. There wasn't no choice, so I married her. Since 1969, however, the tradition of shotgun marriages has seriously eroded. And then there's a table that's linked. For whites in particular, the shotgun marriage rate began its decline at almost the same time as the reproductive technology shock. And the decline in shotgun marriages has contributed heavily to the rise in the out-of-wedlock birth rate for both white and black women. In fact, about 75% of the increase in the white out-of-wedlock first birth rate and about 60% of the black increase between 1965 and 1990 is directly attributable to the decline in shotgun marriage. If the shotgun marriage rate had remained steady from 1965 to 1990, white out-of-wedlock births would have risen only 25% as much as they have. Black out-of-wedlock births would have increased only 40% as much. So maybe it's people not doing the shotgun wedding thing as much when somebody gets pregnant?
Right, because, all right, so like before the welfare state, families took care of each other. Like when someone falls on hard times, when dad dies, mom lives with you. This happens in Asian countries to this day. It's basically culturally expected for the children to take care of their parents. But now we have Social Security. So now kids don't have to take care of their parents. There's no cultural expectation to them to take care of their parents. Used to have churches take care of the poor people. Used to have mutual aid societies that took care of communities. And the welfare state removed all that. No one cares about investing in families, churches, or communities because the government's going to take care of them. And now when people fall in hard times, they turn to the government.
I mean, you can still take care of like family and stuff. Social Security doesn't prohibit that. And again, most of Social Security is paid for by taxpayers. So I mean, we could get rid of Social Security and then what? We would just like, do you think that would be better? Like, do you think it'd be better if we got rid of Social Security? Do you think that'd be better that now mom and dad are retired and they have no? Okay.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right, bye. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.